Hi folks, how are you doing? Once again we're gonna follow one of the games of Magnus Carlsen. In this case he played a very interesting game in the 10th round of the Tata Steel Chess tournament. He had a slow start to the tournament, even lost a game against Wojtaszek, but later he's been on a roll, winning game after game, and in the 10th round he was white against Carlsen-Radjabov. Let's see what happened, because the game was once again quite interesting. We have Lopez, the Berlin defense. A remarkable choice by black, because knowing that Magnus must have tons of preparation in the Berlin from his World Championship match a couple of months ago against Anand. So even though Radjabov plays the Berlin, d3, bishop c5, white castles, d6, and the game goes in a similar way to the second game of the match in Sochi against Anand, where Carlsen was white and took on c6 without being provoked with a6. Not exactly the same position, but the game was similar in the opening. He once again plays h3, playing against the bishop on c8, depriving it from going to f5, now from going to g4, h6, rook e1, rook e8, and knight f1. Really a very old maneuver, always useful in these Ruy Lopez kind of positions. The knight goes to d2, f1, and later on either to e3 or g3 to jump into a very nice any nice light square. a5. Okay, black tries to activate his queen side. The bishop could go to a6, and you could even try to push this pawn till the end and, well, somehow get rid of a potential weak pawn. Knight to g3, rook b8. Now you're putting pressure on the open file against the b2 pawn, and, well, the bishop cannot go from there just like that. b3. Once again, Magnus has no problem in playing calm and slow moves in the opening. Has black equalized in the opening? Well, absolutely. But does this mean black is making a draw safely? Not at all. Because when you play with Carlsen, the journey just begins when the opening is over. Usually in the middle game is where the world champion shows his superior positional understandings. Bishop b4 was played, attacking the rook, and now we see a nice move, bishop to d2. Magnus is offering to exchange this bishop, depriving black from the bishop pair and one of his most active pieces, which is the dark squared bishop right now. Radjabov doesn't want to take it himself, but goes with the rook back, having a5 under protection again, in case this bishop is chased away with, say, a3, so that the bishop doesn't take on a5, white bishop doesn't take the pawn on a5 for free. So he isn't against taking away the bishop, but he doesn't want to take it by himself. Of course, if white takes here, then black opens the a file for his rook, and a2 would be an ugly weakness for white. So Carlsen plays c3, the bishop goes back, and now he already achieves a little something, pressure on the center with his pawns. The bishop goes back, and he has a pawns on d4, e4. This one supported by the one on c3. It's already a little bit something. After the bishop goes back, he exchanges on e5 and plays c4, arguing he is slightly better. Well, for some reasons. First of all, black has some slight problems to complete development. This bishop won't be activated that easily. It's not clear where the bishop belongs. And then black has a bunch of dubious looking moves, like a5, the doubled and isolated pawns on the c file, of course, even e5 with a move like bishop c3, and this pawn is already under some pressure. So once again, some slight advantages for white, which Magnus Carlsen is very happy to just nurse and try to grow slowly but surely. Knight h7. Okay, black has to try to improve his pieces. Not sure if this is the best move, but at least it has some ideas. Maybe, who knows, an aggressive looking f5 could be coming. Don't forget that Radjabov is usually playing the King's Indian with black, where f5 is kind of obligatory in lots of positions. Well, who knows if you could try to go for some very aggressive and active position with f5. On the other hand, he has this maneuver with the knight going to f8, maybe trying to go to e6 and a dark square on the center. A long trip, yes, but it could be an idea, who knows. Now queen e2. Yes, the knight goes to f8. Once again, we see Carlsen willing to exchange the better minor piece of black. Very instructive and interesting to see this, as look at these minor pieces. The bishop on c8 and the knight on f8 aren't that good pieces. The most active minor piece of Radjabov here looks the bishop on b6. So once again, he's opening the file for his rook on a1, and he wants to exchange this bishop for his own one. Well, black doesn't want to do so and plays a move which I really don't get. I really don't like at all. Even if the computer doesn't say this is a very bad move, I just don't get it. How can someone encarcelate his own bishop on b6 like this? Which are the real practical chances this bishop will be is going to be active anymore on this game? Strange. I mean, strange to say the least. I don't get this move. Looks horrible move to my eyes, but of course I'm an amateur. Maybe it has some justification, but I just don't get it, honestly speaking. Rook a d1, queen f6. Black position is starting to look ugly. Weird, somehow weird. His pieces are not coordinated at all. Not that white has anything special, but black pieces are kind of scattered around the room. Knight h5, the queen is under attack, and well, be careful where you put the queen. If you try to go to g6, it looks you're attacking the knight. Now the other knight jumps, knight h4, the queen protects h5 right now, and where is the queen going to go? If you go to somewhere like e6, then you're blockading your own bishop defense of f5, so the knight can go to f5. Couple of beautiful looking horses here attacking g7, just for instance. And otherwise, well, black just has to put the queen on h7 to keep protecting f5 with the bishop. But how in this world is Her Majesty the Queen going to be activated again? Just a mystery. Another one, like how is this bishop going to be activated again? That's why after knight h5, black plays queen to e7 and white plays knight h2, looking to reactivate his knight through g4 more likely. King h7, queen f3, f6. Okay, black is playing some solid moves, trying to stop white from getting through king side. Knight g4. This time Carlsen succeeds in taking away black's most active minor piece, which is in this case the bishop on c8. Not that bishop anymore, not at all, of course, but the bishop on c8. Well, he takes, queen takes. Black has no more bishop pair anymore, of course, and well, he's left with the bishop on b6, which looks, honestly speaking, very miserable, very ugly. Rook e d8, queen f5 check, king back, and now we see that the center is under control. White has active knight and queen on the king side. Black's bishop once again on b6 is in jail, encarcelated, maybe forever, so a kingside attack is justified in this case. Very instructive again. Rook takes, e takes f4, bishop takes. Black tries desperately to exchange queens here, but Carlsen plays, which seems to be a very precise move. Honestly speaking, I didn't get all the potential of this move. Rook d3 seems to be very strong, and this is what the world champion plays here. I guess one of its main ideas could be that even if black exchanges queens or not, now you have a very active rook on the third rank. Rook g3 attacking g7 together with the knight is an idea, I guess. On the other hand, well, you keep this d8 square under control. If rook e8, just king f2, and the rook isn't playing that much anymore. So things like that, I guess, activating a lot the rook, threatening always to go to g3. Black didn't exchange right away, but played rook e8. But now, once again, we see that tactics favor the good positional player, the better placed pieces, and that is clearly white in this case. So bang, knight takes g7. What happens if king takes? Well, we're gonna see it in the game, because this is what happened. Black took, and the move is queen h5. There is no way to stop white from taking a6 with check. Black king, that means that black king is under some serious pressure. Radjabov went with the knight back to h7, but now we're taking there with the bishop, very important, so that after king h8 the queen goes to g6 with the concrete threat of checkmate in 1. Otherwise, if white takes here just with the queen, well, the king goes back, and the bishop on f4 is not very active as it is in this other position. You see the bishop doing a great job supporting a checkmate in 1 threat. How do you stop this? Well, queen g8 was played. Certainly beautiful was the continuation if rook g8 was played. Now it may seem that you're even threatening white queen king with queen takes h3, whatever. Well, not now, because the rook is there, of course. But white has a very cute move, rook to d8. Well, rook cannot take there because that's checkmate. And the main point of white is that the rook isn't defending g7 anymore, as if black passes, just say move the pawn. This is checkmate in 1. Beautiful. The rook is useless to protect g7 as it is pinned. This is checkmate. The rook cannot take the queen. Nice one. So this was a nice variation. Of course, you expected to 2700 plus GM to see this, so he went queen g8, but this is allowing very forced continuation, winning for white. Bishop g7 check, forcing queen takes, and now look who's hanging here on e8. Yes, that's a rook. Queen takes the rook, check. Queen f8. White is in no hurry to exchange queens and activate this knight. He just goes back. Queen e6. Once again, white is basically up an exchange because this bishop is out of play, out of game forever. Well, queen h6 was the last try of Radjabov, trying to give some perpetual checks, taking advantage of the dark squares like f4 c1, but there is no danger here for white. He plays e5. After check, king there, queen f4 check, just rook to g3, blockading from checks and activating this rook. Remember that rook d3 move early? Well, now we see it was very useful. The rook is now as active as it can get. There is a checkmate in 1 threat, and overall the game is over because black is only playing with this couple of pieces and a very weak king. White is overwhelmingly more active, and once again we see this bishop here having been really key in this game. What is this bishop doing here? Nothing. This is just a piece of decoration. This is one of the main causes Radjabov lost this game, I think, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Well, which could have been the continuation of this game had the game been played on? Well, if knight g5 attacking the queen, queen just goes to e7, and white is threatening simply if black just passes to take on f6, have a huge pawn on f6, etc. Checkmate threats. This is over. That was all Magnus Carlsen had for today. Very nice, another very interesting and instructive game, and well, we have the world champion on a roll here, on absolutely fire, winning how much, I don't know, 6 or 7 already on a row, and absolutely leading the Tata Steel Chess tournament in Netherlands. Thanks for watching.